Hello, all my lovely people. It's time for the last TBR of the year. This is what I'm going to be reading in December. This TBR is going to be a little bit crazy. My goal this year was to read 100 books, and I am at 87 as of right now, according to Goodreads. So I'm really trying to finish out the year with 100 books. I do have 2 that I'm in the middle of right now. I started reading East of Eden for my November TBR, and it's about 600 pages. I'm about 350 pages in. I am enjoying it, which is surprising, but I do want to finish it. So that'll be book number 88. I also chose Ray Bear as my audiobook for November, and I just haven't made it through yet. I'm not very far in, actually, only about 35%. I think I've just been listening to more podcasts this month. I don't really know what's going on, but I do enjoy the book so far. I just need to finish it. That means I need to find 11 more things to read. I am going to be using my TBR game, and I am really hoping to find some small books. So you're going to see some of my kids' books. You're going to see some graphic novels. We're going to do the best that we can to find a way to get me to 100 books by the end of December. Okay, my first draw is super helpful. It says, Campfire and Moonlight Set the Journey Off Right. Read a book only at night. Book number 1, I'm going to keep it simple. Saga Volume 5. Some beautiful artwork. This cat, such a good character. This is by Brian Vaughan, and the artist is Fiona Staples. It's become one of my favorite graphic novels. I've definitely talked about it a lot, so you probably know this already, but just in case you haven't heard of it, this series starts with 2 people who fall in love and have a child. The problem is that they're supposed to be enemies. They are from opposite sides of a ongoing galactic war, and both sides are now hunting down these 2 because they don't want there to be any sign that there could be peace and love. And so you're following them as the child grows up. As they are on the run, you're learning more about their backgrounds, their families, and the people hunting them. Our next book, Hawks Keep Circling Above. Read a book with an animal on the cover. I feel like this is a very popular prompt, but somehow I always struggle. So this took me a while to find, but I am going with Garth Nix's Drown Wednesday. There is a whale on this cover. This is a series I am rereading from my middle school days. I have read the first 2, and back in the day, I think I made it all the way to Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I'm catching up to where I was before in the series. I remember very little about it. The premise is kind of magical worlds that are starting to overlap. People are coming through. In the first book, Mr. Monday has keys to his kingdom. Some of his lackeys make their way through to Earth and cause a sleeping sickness. I don't know much about the third book. I really like the personifications of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. There's also dawn and dusk. It's a really good middle grade series if you're looking for one, and Garth Nix is an incredible author. So you're in good hands. Okay, I think I need 9 more? Oh gosh. All right, this one got a little bit messed up with the tape, but it says, the lake ahead glows with sea stars. Choose a beautiful cover. Easy. I know which one I'm going for. All right, we're gonna choose Monstrous Volume 3, another graphic novel, to help us make our way through this long TBR. This follows a girl who has some sort of monster lurking in her, and her journey to kind of discover what happened, who her mother was. People are hunting her because of her powers. Kind of has a found family aspect of, like, she keeps running into people who end up helping her out. There's this really cool, like, cat, Ninetales-ish kind of character that is adorable. And the art is just so well drawn and so depictive. I do remember the story being a little bit confusing when I moved from book 1 to book 2, because I think I left it too long. And I remembered that and then made the same mistake between book 2 and book 3. I do remember enjoying it nonetheless. It's a very dark story with incredible characters. keep moving along. We have, here we go. Take the next step in completing a quest and a book goal. I actually started a book, The Golden Compass, book number 1, and never finished it. I picked it up because I had 3 or 4 days left in a month. And the goal it goes with is that 200 books to read, 200 classics to read. And I just never finished it because I started my November TBR. I made a pretty small November TBR hoping I would be able to finish that book and didn't. So for my goal, I'm going to choose the first book in the Golden Compass series. I have it on my Kindle, so I don't have it to show. So far, what I've learned is that there are kids that are disappearing in a world where people have a animal demon-ish thing that can change. It's a shapeshifter until they get to a certain age, and then it kind of solidifies into one shape that is supposed to represent who they are. I have always heard good things about this, but I think I was so caught up in Harry Potter back in the day that I just never got into it, never picked it up. So it's still very enjoyable as an adult, but I do tend to be a pretty wide genre reader, so maybe that's just me. I think we have 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93. This is book number 94. Oh, this is perfect. This area is full of quicksand. Read a book with 300 pages or less. I feel like my TBR game knew exactly what I needed. I just went for a random kids book, and the first one I saw on my shelf that I haven't read yet is Cupid Doesn't Flip Hamburgers. It's got a very intense lunch lady on the front. Look at that hair. And the tagline says, "It's a new cafeteria cook putting the school under a spell." It definitely has a Valentine's Day vibe, so maybe I should have held off, but we're gonna truck on through. I've talked about these a lot because I've read a lot of them. Maybe someday I'll do a tier list of the best one. I recently read Gargoyles Don't Drive Buses, and that was a really good one. It had a very good message, which sometimes they're just kind of ambiguous cool kids stories. I'm interested to see if this has cool message to it or if it's just a good story. So after 3 nights without sleep, you're starting to doubt yourself. Read a dark book. A dark, small book. That's gonna be tricky. Let me think. All right, I toyed with picking up Joanne Abercrombie, but I really am trying to be successful here. I want to make it through this list. And then I remembered that I am on book number 7 of the series of unfortunate events. And those books are dark. I don't have that book. I actually only have 4, 5, and 6. I am going to get this either on my Kindle or from the library. I'm not really sure, but these follow some orphans who are being chased down by an evil man who want their inheritance. And for kids' books, they are surprisingly dark and tragic. But they have such cool kids, and I always find myself very locked in on this story and what's going to happen next to these children. And Count Olaf, the evil man, shows up, and I just feel all the things they're feeling. So yeah, let's add that to our list. I'm flipping a lot of prompts here. Here's our next one. It says, keep up with local lore. Read a book published in the last 5 years. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do an audiobook, and I'm going to do The Golden Enclaves by Naomi Novik. Hopefully I'll have time to finish Raybearer and do another audiobook in December. I feel like that's pretty manageable. And I have been burning through Collarmance series. I finally picked up Deadly Education in June or July and loved it and shared it with my book club group, and we all enjoyed it. So one of my friends has read Golden Enclaves and said it was a good wrap up. I think it's the final one in the series. I could be wrong, but I'm hoping this will not only fulfill this prompt, but help me fulfill one of my lifetime goals of actually completing series. Because I think I've completed 2 this year. Maybe, not even. I think I need to choose 4 more books. So here's our next prompt. Dreams show you a person you haven't met. Read a new to you author. I couldn't find a small book, so we're gonna add our first actual novel onto the list. This is Battle of the Linguist Mages by Scotto Moore. It says absolutely wild things on the covers, and I'm not sure if I'm going to love this or be disappointed. So I'm going to read you a few things. It says, it reads like Snow Crash had a dance-off with Gideon the Ninth. That's kind of crazy. The first kind of book jacket thing up here says, maybe you can help me stop Sparklegeddon. Like Armageddon, Sparklegeddon. So I'm going to read the synopsis because I feel like it's so wild that I just need you to hear this. In modern-day Los Angeles, a shadowy faction led by the governor of California develops the arcane art of combat linguistics, planting the seeds of a future totalitarian empire. Isabel is the queen of medieval rage-themed VR game, so virtual reality game, Sparkle Dungeon. Her prowess in the game makes her an ideal candidate to learn the secret power of morphemes that warp perception when skillfully pronounced. But Isabel's reputation makes her the target of a strange resistance movement led by spellcasting anarchists who may be the only thing stopping the toppling of California over the edge. There are 40 million lives at stake. So we have virtual reality, magic based on language, and totalitarian empire in modern day California. I feel like it's going to be buck wild. There's also another thing on here that says, in the case of dubstep, break glass, plug your ears, and run for your life. Guys, this is going to be a trip, but we will see. We'll see. I'm giving it a chance. I love the cover. I just love that like neon vibe. And I do like, you know, VR dungeon game style. I don't know. I thought it had more to do with like D&D-esque kind of things, but we will see. The Bard sings your favorite song. Pick a book with a happy vibe. Y'all, this one's gonna be funny as well. I am reading Trans Wizard Harriet Porber and the Bad Boy Parasaurophilus. This cover, we've got a mammoth, we've got some motorcycles with heads, and then I'm guessing this is the Bad Boy the dinosaur. This is by Chuck Tingle, which I'm assuming is a pen name. I saw these on Amazon. I think someone wrote this after the J.K. Rowling drama. And so I picked them up. I got my sister and some of my friends a copy as well. And she read it back in like February and is like, how have you not read this? I read this book for you and you have not read it yet. So she'll be happy to see that I picked this up. This follows a trans wizard, Harriet, made a name for herself by creating a hit viral spell. Her agent, Minerva, is breathing down her neck to come up with the next big thing. So she takes off on a vacation to the coast of England to get some inspiration. And while she's in England, she meets Snape, who is the spellcaster bad boy. So yeah, there's definitely some Harry Potter references in this. I'm excited to read it. I think it's going to be fun and cute. Here we go. You stumble into a magical whirlwind. Read a book with at least 3 colors on the cover. I've been trying to fit one of my novella series in and just haven't been able to up until this point. Probably could have with some of these, but other things fit better. So I'm going to put Shauna Maguire's Wayward Children series. I am on book 5, which is Come Tumbling Down. It definitely has not quite what I imagined when I made this prompt as far as 3 colors, but they're there. I love this series and I'm excited to keep reading it. So it's short, it's something I enjoy, it feels perfect for this prompt. This follows children who go off to different worlds and then have to deal with the reality of coming back to ours. In the first book, you meet 2 characters, Jack and Jill, and this book brings you back into their whole ordeal because it's definitely an ordeal. I don't know if this is a prequel or a follow-up. Book 2 also deals with Jack and Jill. I really love their backstory and just their journey. So I'm very interested to see how we come back to those characters for a 3rd time. Okay, this is our last draw, book number 100, if I get to it. It says, a lost child stumbles across your path. Read a found family book. Can I just tell you, I'm a little bit frustrated because I made this prompt knowing I had not read book 4 of the Wayfair series by Becky Chambers. And then I forgot I made this prompt and read book 4 for something else. So now I'm not sure what I'm gonna read. Okay, this is a shot in the dark, but another novel. I'm going to read The Young Elites by Marie Lu. I really love the stuff I've read by her. She wrote Legend, Prodigy, Champion. I don't remember what that series is called, but I adored those books. And I bought this after I read those and then just never picked it up. I don't know if it has found family, but it talks about a group of people, and so I'm going to just hope that they end up becoming a found family. So in this world, there was a deadly virus that killed off a lot of the population, but people who survived were left with strange markings of some sort. And they are rumored to also have strange powers to go with them. That group is called the Young Elites, and there are people trying to hunt them down. It sounds like there are 2 different groups of people hunting them, and the main character, a girl, just wants to be left alone. In my mind, I am imagining her finally feeling her place in the Young Elites by the end, and found family will happen. Fingers crossed. Those are my last books to get to 100, but I do have one more book to show you because I am starting this guy, Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. Just let me show that off, that gloss, the sheen. I am reading this with Laura's Library Card and Books MCD. We were a part of the first group that started reading Wheel of Time together. That's kind of fallen to the wayside because we realized that it is so hard to keep up with a 14-book series that chunky. But the 3 of us got together and wanted to start reading this. Our goal is to read it over 2 months, so I didn't want to put it in my list of getting it to 100 because I probably will not finish before the end of January is my goal. But I'm super excited to read this, and I'm really grateful to have some people to read it with because I feel like it's so intimidating that hopefully we will keep each other on track. All right, here is my stack of books. Man, Prairie looks so funky with all these small ones. I think I am most excited for Saga Volume 5 and The Golden Enclaves. And I'm most unsure about Battle of the Linguist Mages because it just seems so wild that I don't know if it can live up to what it's promising. For looking at my board, we started here and drew prompts all the way around to here. Thanks for joining me. Let me know what you are reading in this last month of 2022. And I hope you are successful in all your book goals and life goals. I'll see y'all later. Bye, friends.